reading in the series of our Flower Maker reading series. And I'm Brent Norrie, and appreciate y'all for showing up and then been sticking with this series as we're going along. We're reading my novel. You can catch all the previous episodes on this channel, Blurred Lens Pictures. Please like and subscribe. Let's get that stuff out of the way. We like to get right into the reading here so that I don't stumble over my words trying to pitch some sort of ad to you guys. You know where to find this stuff. You can look on the channel. I got playlists for The Flower Maker Part 1, which is a whole 3-hour audiobook or so. It's about 2 hours and 45 minutes. And then there's this newest series we're doing now, which is The Flower Maker Part 2. Okay. Appreciate you all for tuning in. I'll catch up with you in the chat at the end of the reading. Currently, we are up to Chapter 5 in The Flower Maker Part 2. Still got a long way to go, I think, so hope you stay tuned. All right, here we go. So, The Flower Maker Part 2. I'm Brent Norrie, and this is Chapter 5, The Shadow Realm and the God Beside Itself. The artist crossed a side street, just stepping off the corner where the Ben & Jerry's ice cream shop was. To his right, the side street opened into a parallel line of brick mill buildings, opening a space in the skyline to view the always present steeple. The cross on top, visible even from there, a couple miles away. He had filmed a scene for his new movie project next to the church and had captured the Everest-like shadow cast across the park and maybe stretching the city. Now he thought on the idea of how we treat such a thing in public. There's a man being tortured to death up there, and it's always around. He'd even worn it around his neck for good luck when he was young. How strange now that the greatest symbol we all know is that. A man being ruthlessly murdered. Should we think his last thoughts were, yes, this is how I imagined it? Or maybe they were. The Romans were sick-lying bastards for sure. And that's a fact, actually, because they wrote it themselves into their history. No father would let their daughters mate with a Roman. This was again the beginning. And Romulus pillaged and enslaved the women of surrounding areas of Italy, raping and forcing them to be their wives and give offspring. Then, when the fathers came for revenge, the new wives/daughters came between the fighters and expressed their love for the Romans and a better future under Rome. Sounds about as believable as defeating men on elephants that just traversed the northern Alps and have you surrounded in a second Carthaginian war that there is no evidence of. Only evidence of a hired Greek writer to explain the demolition of Carthage. And Virgil, on his deathbed, wanted to burn the Aeneid, which is ironic because he wanted to preserve his reputation. There was something new coming, the artist thought, as he listened for the crickling and cracking of all sounds around him. Then he returned to the idea of torment. A crucifixion was perhaps better than Vlad the Impaler's treatment of Ottomans. Fields of utterly destroyed lives, hanging on posts like scarecrows, but more like crosses in a military cemetery, but more gruesome than that. As stated, the impaling might be worse than the crucified. When crucified, one is nailed to the cross or scaffolding and left to feel starvation and thirst, but die of suffocation from gravity. But Vlad or Dracula would insert a stake like a procedure into your orifice and then post you up for gravity's work. And these were fields of people like this, just to frighten opposition. Romans had casually crucified people in the same way, for simple theft around Jerusalem, and both Romans and Jews like explanations. One points a finger and the other always blames themselves. The god had looked in a mirror and frightened itself. So simple to see the opposite in itself. It was worried of its invention of itself, and its things to see itself. It appeared there as if two, and it was a game, for it should have known itself. But in the confusion it surprised itself. It surprised itself so much it forgot that it always remembered it always played this game with itself. It was boring to count endless possibilities, rehearsed infinitely. A never-ending blueprint of how this and then that. Besides, it wasn't even a thing, really. Only an abstraction of the no thing, which had to be, for no thing had to exist, somehow, and so it made room for something. Something which perhaps didn't know itself or other things, really. Only using logic of what we know and how we can't truly know something else. God perhaps looked at us like, why are my fingernails growing? Should I cut my hair or shave? And does this outfit look good on me? And possibilities could be almost endless for us mortals in such simple things as choosing a place for dinner, where to eat, what are we in the mood for, and a long, drawn-out discussion of plate choices from a variety of menus for takeout for a starving couple could be a mess of indecision before finally settling on the very first place to dine that they had thought of 2 hours ago. Which is to say, people quite often, in a general sense, subconsciously, have difficulty with abstract choices or viewing the future, even in necessity, which leads to a type of social chaos that can be exploited. They call it disorganization, which needs fixing and labeling and order and control. We can't let the children get out of hand. And so stories came to be. Stories of monsters and of morals. But no one could predict that the monsters were more exciting to the imagination and easier to understand than the difficulty of doing constant good. And so moral truth was hidden by the monstrous myth. That's it for today, folks. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We got Subby Me, Subi. We got Ashwin Ray. Hello. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Appreciate y'all commenting and liking, subscribing. This is Blurred Lens Pictures. I'm Brent Norrie. This is the Flower Maker reading series that, if you're here now, you just caught on to. I hope you all like it. And there's a lot of videos in the past. You can catch up to it. We do this sort of live reading series whenever some new pages come alive. And appreciate everyone that tunes in each time we do. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.